Καλώς ήρθατε, κυρίες και κύριοι, στο παλάτι του βασιλιά Ειδίποτα. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the palace of King Oedipus. Please keep the aisle clear. Keep all cell phones silenced and out of sight. Now, if you have to use the restroom, it is strongly encouraged that you do it during the intermission, or if it's an emergency, use the door you came in from. Now please enjoy the Capital Players production of Oedipus Rex. Παρακαλώ, ευχαριστηθείτε την παράσταση. There will be a 10-minute intermission.
Oh, my children, the new blood of ancient Thebes, why are you here? Huddling at my altar, praying before me, your branches wound in wool. Our city reeks with the smoke of burning incense, rings with cries for the healer and wailing for the dead. I thought it wrong, my children, to learn the truth from others, messengers. Here I am myself, you all know me, the world knows my fame. I am Oedipus. Speak up, old man. Your years, your dignity, you should speak for the others. Why here a kneeling? What preys upon you so? Some sudden fear? Some strong desire? You can trust me, I'm ready to help. I would be blind to misery, not to pity my people kneeling at my feet.
O Oedipus, King of the land, our greatest power, see us before you now, men of all ages, clinging to your altar. Here are boys still too weak to fly from the nest, and the old bow down with the years, and the holy ones, a priest of Zeus myself, and all the rest your great family gathers now. Branches wreathed, massing in the squares, kneeling before the two temples of Queen Athena, or the river shrine, where the embers glow and die, and Apollo sees the future in the ashes. Our city, look around you. See with your own eyes. Our ship pitches wildly, but cannot lift her head from the depths of the red waves of death. Thebes is dying. A blight on our fresh crops and rich pastures. Cattle sicken and die, women dying in labor and children stillborn. And the plague, the fiery god of fever hurls down on the city, his lightning slashing through us, raging plague in all its vengeance, devastating the house of Cadmus. The black death luxuriates in the raw wailing miseries of Thebes. Now we pray to you. You cannot equal the gods. Your children know that, bending at your altar. But we do rate you first of men in the common crises of our lives and the face-to-face interactions with the gods. You set us free from the Sphinx. You came to Thebes and cut us loose from that bloody tribute we paid that harsh, brutal singer. We taught you nothing. No skill, no knowledge. Still you triumphed. But God was with you, they say. So we believed it. You've lifted up our lives. So now again, Oedipus, King, we bend to you. Your power. We implore you, all of us, on our knees. Find us strength. Rescue. Perhaps you've heard the voice of a god or something from other men. Oedipus, what do you know? The man of experience. You see it every day. His plans will work in a crisis. His first of all. Act now. We beg you, first of men. Raise up our city. Act. Defend yourself. Your former glory. Your country calls you savior now for your zeal years ago. Never let us remember of your reign. You've helped us to stand only to fall once more. Oh, raise up our city. The omens were good the day you brought us joy. Be the same man today. Rule our land. You know you have the power, but rule a land of the living, not a wasteland. Ship and towered city are nothing, stripped of men alive, living within it all is one.
My children, I pity you. I see. How could I fail to see what longings bring you here? You are sick to death, all of you. But sick as you are, one as sick as I. Your pain strikes each of you alone, each in the confines of himself. No other but my spirit grieves for the city, for myself and all of you. I wasn't asleep, dreaming. You haven't wakened me. I have wept these many nights, you must know that. Groping, laboring over many paths of thought. After a painful search, I found one cure. I sent Creon, my wife's own brother, to Delphi, Apollo the prophet's oracle, to learn what I might do or say to help save our city. And today's the day. As I count the days gone by, it torments me. What is he doing? Strange. He's late. But once he returns, then I will be a traitor if I do not do all the god makes clear.
Timely words. The men are signaling. Creon is arriving.
Lord Apollo, let him come with a lucky word of rescue shining through the eyes. Creon, Prince, my kin, what do you bring us? What message from the god?
Oh, good news. I tell you, even the hardest things to bear. If they should turn out well, all would be well.
What were the god's words? There's no hope, and nothing to fear in what you've said so far.
If you want my report in the presence of these people, I'm ready now, or we might go inside.
Speak out, speak to us all. I grieve for these, my people, far more than I fear my own life.
Very well. I will tell you what I heard from the gods. Apollo commands us, he was quite clear. Drive the corruption from the land. Don't harbor it any longer past all cure. Don't nurse it in your soil. Root it out.
How can we cleanse ourselves? What rights? What is the source of all this trouble?
Banish the man. Or pay back blood with blood. Murder sets the plague storm on the city.
Murder? Whose murder? Whose fate does Apollo bring to light?
My leader, my lord, was once a man named Laius before you came and put a string on horse.
I know. Or so I've heard. I never actually met the man myself.
Well, he was killed. And Apollo commands us now he could not be more clear. Pay the killers back, whoever is responsible.
Where on earth? Where to find it now? The trail of ancient guilt so hard to trace?
Here in Thebes, he said. Whatever is sought for can be cautioned of. Whatever is neglected slips away.
No messenger? No fellow traveler, so what happened? Someone to cross-examine?
No, they were all killed but one. He escaped. Terrified, he could tell us nothing clearly, nothing of what he saw. Just one thing.
What's that? One thing could hold the key to it all. A small beginning gives us grounds for hope.
He said thieves attacked them. Well, whole band not single-handed cut King Leigh's down.
A thief? So daring, so wild? He'd kill a king? Impossible. Unless conspirators paid him off in
We
Thebes.
suspected as much, but with Leigh's dead, no leader appeared to help us in our troubles.
Troubles? Your king was murdered. Royal blood. What stopped you from tracking down the killer then and
The
there?
singing early Sphinx, she persuaded us to let the mystery go and concentrate on what lay at our feet.
No. I'll start it again myself. Apollo was right, and so are you, Creon, to bring our attention back to the murdered man. You now have me to fight for you. I am the land's avenger and Apollo's champion too. But not to assist some distant kinsman, no, for my own sake I'll rid us of this corruption. The killer may decide to kill me too with the same violent hand. By avenging Laius, I defend myself. Quickly, my children, up from the steps, take up your branches now. One of you summon the city here before us. Tell them I will do anything. May God help us, we will see our triumph! Or our fall.
Rise, my sons. This is the kindness we've come for. Oedipus has volunteered himself. Apollo has sent his word, his oracle. Come down, Apollo. Save us. Stop the plague.
Zeus, great welcome voice of Zeus, what do you bring? What word from the gold vaults of Delphi comes to brilliant Thebes, racked with terror?
Terror shakes my heart.
And I cry your wild cries, Apollo, healer of Delos, and I worship you in dread. What now? What is your price? Some new sacrifice, some ancient rite come round again each spring? What will you bring to birth? Tell me, child of golden hope, warm voice that never dies.
You are the first I call, daughter of Zeus, deathless Athena. I call your sister Artemis, and part of the marketplace enthroned in glory, guardian of our earth.
I call Apollo, archer astride the thunderheads of heaven. O triple shield against death, shine before me now. If ever, once in the past, you stopped some ruin launched against our walls, you hurled the flame of pain far, far from Thebes. You gods, come now, come down once more.
No. No. The miseries, numberless, grief on grief, no end. Too much to bear. We're all dying.
Oh, my people.
Thebes, like a great army dying, and there is no sword of thought to save us, no. And the fruits of our famous earth will not ripen. And the women cannot scream their pangs of birth, screams for the healer. Children dead in the womb, and life on life goes down. You can watch them go, like seabirds winging west, out racing the day's fire, down the horizon, irresistibly streaking onto the shores of evening.
Death. So many deaths.
Numberless deaths on deaths.
No end. Thebes is dying. Look, her children stripped of pity.
Generations strewn on the ground, unburied, unwept, the dead spreading death.
And the young wives and the gray-haired mothers with them cling to the altars, trailing in from all over the city. Thebes, the city of death, one long cortege.
And the suffering rises.
Wails for mercy rise, and the wild grin for the healer blazes out, clashing with our sobs, our cries of mourning.
O golden daughter of God,
Send rescue as radiant as the kindness in your eyes.
drive him back, the fever!
The God of life,
That raging god of war, not armored in bronze, not shielded now, he burns me. Battle cries in the onslaught, burning on, oh, rout him from our borders. Sail him, blast him out to the Sea Queen's chamber, the black Atlantic Gulf for the northern harbor. Death to all where thrashing sea comes crashing.
Now with the night spares he comes by day and kills the god of death. O Lord of the storm cloud, you who twirl the lightning, Zeus, Father, thunder death to nothing, Apollo, Lord of the light,
I beg you,
whip your longbow's golden cord,
Showering arrows on our enemies' shafts of power.
champion strong before us rushing on.
Artemis, huntress, torches flaring over the eastern ridges, ride death down in pain. God of the headdress, gleaming gold, I cry to you, your name and ours are one. Dionysus, come with your face aflame with wine, your raving women's cries, your armies on the march. Come with the lightning, come with torches blazing, eyes ablaze with glory. Burn that god of death that all gods hate.
You pray to the gods. Let me grant your prayers. Come. Listen to me. Do what the plague demands, you'll find relief and lift your head from the depths. I will speak out now as a stranger to the story, a stranger to the crime. If I had been present then, there would have been no mystery, no long hunt without a clue in hand. So now, counted a native Theban years after the murder, to all of Thebes I make this proclamation. If any one of you knows who murdered Laius, the son of Labdacus, I order him to reveal the whole truth to me. Have nothing to fear. Even if he must denounce himself, let him speak out and so escape the brunt of his charge. He will suffer no unbearable punishment, nothing worse than exile, totally unharmed. Next, if anyone knows the murderer to be a stranger, a man from alien soil, come, speak out. I will give him a handsome reward, and lay up gratitude in my heart for him besides. But if you keep silent, if anyone panicking, trying to shield himself or friend or kin, rejects my offer, then hear what I will do. I order you, every citizen of the state where I hold throne and power, banish this man, whoever he may be. Never shelter him, never speak a word to him, never make him partner to your prayers, never let the holy water touch his hands. He is our plague, the heart of our corruption, as Apollo's oracle has just revealed to me. So I honor my obligations. I fight for the god and for the murdered man. Now my curse on the murderer, whoever he may be, a man alone in his crime or one among many. Let him live out his life in agony, step by painful step. I curse myself as well. If by any chance he proves to be a friend of my house here at my hearth, with my full knowledge, then may the curse I just called down on him strike me. These are your orders. Perform them to the last. I beg you. No, I command you! My curse on those who disobey these orders. Let no crops grow for them, shrivel their women, kill their sons, burn them to nothing in the plague that hits us now, or something even worse. But you, loyal men of Thebes, who approve my actions, may our champion, justice, May all the gods be with us. Fight beside us until the end.
In the grip of your curse, my king, I swear I am not the murderer. I cannot point him out. As for this search, Apollo pressed it upon us. He should name the killer.
Quite right. But to force a god to act against their will, no man has the power.
Then if I might suggest the next best thing,
Well, the third best, too. Don't hold back, say it.
I still believe Lord Tiresias sees with the eyes of Lord Apollo. Anyone searching for the truth, my king, might learn it from the prophet clear as day.
I haven't been certain on that one. On Creon's cue, I sent escorts twice, within the hour. I'm surprised he isn't already here.
We need him. Without him, we are nothing but old, useless rumors.
Rumors? Which rumors? I'll search out every word.
Laius was killed, they say, by certain travelers.
I know. But no one can find the murderer.
Well, if the man has any trace of fear in him, he will not stay silent for long, not with your curses ringing in his ears.
He didn't flinch at murder. He'll never flinch at words.
Look, they bring him on now. The seer, the man of God. The truth lives within him and him alone.
Oh, Tiresias, master of all mysteries of our life, all that you teach and all that you dare not tell, signs in the heavens and signs that walk the earth. Blind as you are, you know all the more what sickness haunts our city. You are the one shield, the one savior that we can find. But perhaps the messengers haven't told you. We asked Apollo, he sent his answer back. Relief from the plague can only come one way. Uncover the murder of Laius. Drive them into exile or put them to death. So I beg you.
How terrible. To see the truth when the truth is only pain to him who sees. I knew it well, but I put it from my mind. Else I never would have come.
What's this? Why so grim, so dire?
Just send me home. You bear your burdens, I'll bear mine. It's better that way. Please believe me.
Strange response. Unlawful. Unfriendly to the state that bred and reared you, you withhold the word of God.
I failed to see that your own words were so well timed. I'd rather not have the same thing said of me.
Oh, for the love of God, don't turn away. Not if you know something. We beg you, all of us on our knees.
None of you knows. And I will never reveal my dreadful secrets, not to say your own.
Nothing? You scum of the earth. Out with it, once and for all!
I'd rather not cause pain for you or me. So why this useless interrogation? You'll get nothing from me.
Nothing moves you? You're bent on destroying us, betraying thieves.
You criticize my temper, unaware of the one you live with. You revile me.
Who could restrain himself hearing you? What outrage! You reject the city!
What will come, even if I shroud it all in silence.
What will come? You're bound to tell me that.
I will say no more. Do as you like. Build your anger to whatever pitch you please. Rage your worst.
Oh, all let loose. I am enraged with fury! I see it all. You did the work, yes, short of killing him yourself with your own hands and given eyes. I'd say you did the killing single-handed.
Is that so? I charge you then. Submit to that decree you just laid down. From this day onward speak to no one, not myself, not these citizens. You are the curse, the corruption of the land.
You shameless little. Aren't you appalled to start up such a story? You think you can just get away with this?
I have already. The truth with all its power lives inside me.
Say it again. I'll understand it better.
Didn't you understand me just now? Or are you tempting me to talk?
No, I can't say I grasped your full meaning. Say it again.
I say you are the murderer you hunt.
Oh, that obscenity twice, by God, you'll pay!
Shall I say more? So you could really rage.
Much as you want. Your words are nothing. Futile.
You cannot imagine. I tell you, you and your loved ones live together in infamy. You cannot see how far you've gone in guilt.
You think you could just keep this up and never suffer?
Indeed. If the truth has any power.
Oh, it does. But not for you, old man. You've lost your power. Stone blind, stone deaf senses, eyes blind as stone.
I pity you. Flinging at me the very insult each man here will fling at you so soon.
Blind! Lost in the night, endless night that nursed you. You can't hurt me or anyone else who sees the light. You can never touch me.
True. It is not your fate to fall at my hands. Apollo is quite enough. He'll take some pains to work this out.
Creon. Creon. Is this conspiracy his or yours?
Creon is not your downfall. You are your own.
Oh, power, wealth, and empire. Skill outstripping skill in the violent rivalries of life. What envy lurks inside you? For this alone, the crown my city gave me, I never sought it. They laid it in my hands. For this alone, Creon steals against me. So hungry to overthrow me, he set this wizard on me. This scheming quack, this fortune teller peddling lies, eyes peeled for his own fortune, seer blind in his craft. Tell me, you pious fraud, when did you prove yourself to be a prophet? When the Sphinx was here, why silent then? Not a word to help our people? There was a riddle, not for some passerby to solve. No, a cry out for a prophet. Where were you? Did you rise to the crisis? Not one word. You, your gods, your birds, nothing. Oh no. But I came by, oh Oedipus the ignorant. I stopped the Sphinx. With no help from you or your birds, the flight of my own intelligence hit the mark. And this is the man you tried to overthrow? You think you'll stand by Creon when he's king? Oh, you and the great mastermind. You'll pay in tears for this witch hunt. If you didn't look so senile, I'd say the lash would teach you what your scheming means.
I suggest his words were spoken in anger, Oedipus. Yours too. And it isn't what we need. The solution to the oracle, the riddle posed by God, we should search for that.
You are the king, no doubt. But in one respect, at least, I am your equal. The right to reply, I claim that privilege too. I am not your slave. I serve Apollo! I don't need Creon to speak for me in public. So, you mock my blindness. Let me tell you this, you with your precious eyes. You're blind to the corruption of your life, to the house you live in, those you live with. Who are your parents? Do you know? All unknowing, you're the scourge of your own flesh and blood, the dead below the earth, and the living here above. And the double lash of your mother's and your father's curse will whip you from this land one day. Their footfall, treading you down in terror. Darkness shrouding your eyes, and now see the light soon. Soon you'll scream aloud. What haven won't reverberate? What rock how sit around won't scream back an echo? That day you learn the truth about your marriage. The wedding march that sing you into your halls, the lusty voyage home to the fatal harbor. And a crowd of other horrors you never dream will level you with yourself and all your children. There. Now smear us with insults. Creon, myself, and every word I've said. No man will ever be rooted from the earth as brutally
Enough!
as you.
Such filth from him, insufferable. What, still alive? Get out!
Would never have come if you hadn't called me here.
If I thought you would blurt out such absurdities, you would have died before I had you summoned.
Absurd am I. To you, not to your parents. The ones who bore you found me sane enough.
Parents who? Wait, who's my father?
This day will bring your birth and your destruction.
Riddles. All you can say are riddles, murk and darkness.
But aren't you the best man alive at solving riddles?
Mock me for that. Go on, and you'll reveal my greatness.
Your great good fortune. True. It was your ruin.
And if I save the city, what do I care?
Well then, I'll be going. Take me home, boy.
Yes, take him away. You're a nuisance here. Go on. The irritation is gone.
I will go. Once I have said what I came here to say. I will never shrink from the anger in your eyes. You can't destroy me. Listen to me closely. The man you've sought so long proclaiming, cursing up and down. The murderer of Laius. He is here. A stranger, you may think, who lives among you. He soon will be revealed a native Theban. But he will take no joy in the revelation. Blind, who now has eyes. Beggar, who now is rich. He will grope his way towards a foreign soil, a stick tapping before him step by step. Revealed at last, brother and father, both to the children he embraces. To his mother, son and husband both. He sowed the loins his father sowed. He spilled his father's blood. Go in and reflect on that. Solve that. And if you find I've lied, from this day onward, call the prophet blind.
Who is the man, the voice of God denounces, resounding up the rocky gorges of Delphi?
A horror too dark to tell.
Whose ruthless bloody hands have done the work?
His time has come to fly, to outrace the stallions of the storm, his feet a streak of speed. Cased in armor, Apollo, son of the Father, lunges on him, lightning bolts of fire. The grim, unerring Furies closing in for the kill.
Look, the word of God has just come flashing off of Parnassus' snowy heights. That man who left no trace after him. Up through bristling rocks and caves and timbers he stalks, like the wild mountain bull, cut off from men, each step in agony, frenzied, racing blind. But he cannot outrace the dread voices of Delphi.
Can't accept him.
Can't deny him.
I don't know what to say.
I am lost. The dark wings foreboding beating.
I cannot say what's come, what's still to come. Nor will breed a blood feud between the house of Laius and the son of Polybus.
Oedipus, our king.
I know nothing. Not in the past, not now. No charge to bring against our king. No cause to attack his fame that rings throughout Thebes. Not without proof. Not for the ghost of Laius. Not to avenge a murder gone without a trace.
Zeus and Apollo know. They know, the great masters of all the dark and depth of human life. But whether a mere man can know the truth, whether a seer can fathom more than I?
No, not till I see these charges proved against him will I side with his accusers.
We saw him then, when the She-Hawk swept against him, saw with our own eyes his skill, his brilliant triumph. There was the test. He was the joy of Thebes. Never will I convict my king, never in my heart.
My fellow citizens, I hear King Oedipus levels terrible charges. I had to come, I resent it deeply. If in the present crisis he thinks he suffers any abuse from me, anything I've done or said that offers him the slightest injury, why, I have no desire to linger out this life, my reputation in ruins. The damage I face from such an accusation is nothing simple, no. There's nothing worse. Branded a traitor in the city, a traitor to all of you and my good friend.
True, but a slur might have been forced out of him by anger, perhaps, not any firm conviction.
The charge was made in public, wasn't it? I put the prophet up to spreading lies.
Such things were said, I don't know with what intent, if any.
Was his glance steady, his mind right when the charge was brought against me?
I really couldn't say. I never looked to judge the ones in power. Look, here comes Oedipus now.
You here. You have the gall to stand before my palace gates. You, plotting to kill me. Kill the king, I see it all, the marauding thief himself scheming to steal my throne and power. Tell me, In God's name, what did you take me for? Coward or fool when you spun out your wretched plot? Your treachery, you'd think I never detected creeping against me in the dark? Or sensing it not defend myself? Aren't you the fool? You and your high adventure, lacking numbers, powerful friends, out for the big game of empire. You need riches and armies to bring that quarry down.
Are you quite finished? It's your turn to listen for just as long as you've instructed me. Hear me out first, then judge me on the
You have
facts.
a wicked way with words, Creon, but I'll be slow to learn from you. I find you a menace, a great burden to me.
Just one thing, hear me out in this.
Just one thing? Don't tell me you're not the enemy, the traitor.
Look, if you think crude, mindless stubborn is such a gift, you've lost your sense of balance.
If you think you can abuse a kinsman and escape the penalty, you're insane.
Fair enough, I grant you. But this injury you say I've done you, what is it?
Did you induce me, yes or no, to send for that sanctimonious prophet?
I did, and I'd do the same again.
All right then. How long is it now since Laius
What did he do?
vanished? Swept from sight, murdered in his tracks.
The count of the years would run you far back.
And that far back was the prophet at his trade.
Skilled as he is today, and just as honored.
Did he ever refer to me then, at that time?
No, never. At least when I was in his presence.
Oh, but you did investigate the murder, didn't you?
We did our best, of course. Discovered nothing.
The great seer never accused me then. Why not?
I don't know. And when I don't, I keep quiet.
You do know this, and you'd say it too if you had a shred of decency.
What? If I know, I won't hold back.
It's simple, Creon. If the two of you had never put your heads together, there would have been no knowing about my killing of Laius.
If that's what he says, well, you know best. But now I have a right to learn from you as you just learned from me.
Learn your fill. You'll never convict me of murder.
Tell me, you're married to my sister, aren't you?
A genuine discovery, there's no denying that.
And you rule the land with her, with equal power.
She receives from me whatever she desires.
And I'm the third. All of us are equals.
Yes, and there you show your stripes. You betray a kinsman.
Not at all. Not if you see things calmly, rationally as I do. Look at it this way first. Who in his right mind would rather rule and live in anxiety than sleep in peace? Particularly if he enjoys the same authority, not I. No, I'm not the man to yearn for kingship, not with the king's power in my hands. Who would? No one with any sense of self-control. Now, as it is, you offer me all I need, not a fear in the world, but if I were the crown, there'd be many painful duties to perform, hardly to my taste. How could kingship please me more than influence, power without a qualm? I'm not that deluded yet to reach for anything more than privilege outright, profit-free and clear. Now, all men sing my praises. All support me. Now all who request your favors curry mine. I am their best hope. Success rests in me. Why give up that, I ask you, and borrow trouble? A man of sense, someone who sees things clearly, would never resort to treason. No, I have no lust for conspiracy in me, nor can I ever suffer one who does. Do you want proof? Go to Delphi yourself, examine the oracle, and see if I've reported the message word for word. This too, if you detect that I and the clairvoyant have plotted anything in common, arrest me, execute me! Not on the strength of one vote, two, in this case, mine as well as yours. But don't convict me on sheer unverified surmise. How wrong it is to take the good for bad purely at random, or take the bad for good, but reject a friend, a kinsman? I would as soon tear out the life within us, priceless life itself. You'll learn this well without fail in time. Time alone can bring the just man to light. The criminal you can spot in one short day.
Good advice, my lord, for anyone who wants to avoid disaster. Those who jump to conclusions may go wrong.
When my enemy moves against me, plots in secret, I move quickly too. I must. I plot and pay him back. If I relax my guard, waiting his next move, he wins his objective, I lose mine.
What do you want? You want me banished?
No. I want you dead.
Just to show how ugly a grudge is.
So still stubborn, You don't think I'm serious?
I think you're insane.
Quite sane on my behalf.
Not just as much in mine.
You. my mortal enemy.
What if you're wholly wrong?
No matter. I must rule.
Not if you rule unjustly.
Hear him, thieves, my city!
My city too, not yours alone!
Please, my lords! Look, Jocasta's coming in just in time. With her help, you must put this fighting of yours to rest.
Have you no sense? Poor misguided men, such shouting. Why this public outburst? Aren't you ashamed with the land so sick to stir up these private quarrels? Into the palace now, and Creon, go home. Why make such a furor over nothing?
Sister, it's dreadful. Oedipus, your husband! He's bent on a choice of punishments for me, banishment from the fatherland or death.
Precisely, I caught him in the act of Costa, plotting about to stab me in the back!
Never! Curse me, let me die and be damned if I've done you any wrong you charge me with.
Oh God, believe it, Oedipus. Honor the solemn oath he swears to heaven. Do it for me, for the sake of all of your people.
Believe it.
Be sensible. Give way, my king, I beg you.
What do you want from me? Concessions?
Respect him.
He's been no fool in the past, and now he's strong with the oath he swears to God.
Do you know what you're asking?
I do.
Then out with it!
The man's your friend, your kin. He's under oath. Don't cast him out disgrace. Branded with the guilt on the strength of hearsay only.
Know full well. If that is what you wish, you want me dead or banished from the land.
Never! No, not by the first blazing sun or the first god in heaven.
Stripped of the gods, stripped of loved ones. Let me die by inches if that ever crossed my
But
mind.
the heart inside me sickens.
Dies, the land dies.
And now on top of this, you pile old griefs, your fury, both of you.
Let him go. Even if it does lead to my death, my ruin, or my disgrace, driven out of Thebes for life, it's you, not him I pity. Your words move me. He, wherever he goes, my hate goes with him.
Look at you, sullen and yielding, brutal in your rage. You will go too far. It's perfect justice. Natures like yours are hardest on themselves.
Then leave me alone. Get out!
I'm going. You're wrong, so wrong. These men know I'm right.
I do hesitate, my lady.
Why not help him in?
Tell me what's happened first.
Loose, ignorant talk started.
Dark suspicions.
And a sense of injustice cut deeply too.
On both sides?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
What did they say?
Enough, please, enough.
The land's so wrecked already.
And the trouble here,
Just where they left it.
You see what happens when you try to blunt my anger?
My king! I said it once,
I say it time again. I'd be insane, you know it. Senseless to ever turn my back on you. You who set our beloved land, storm-tossed, shattered, straight on course. Now again, good helmsman, steer us through the storm.
Go pray. For the love of God, Oedipus, tell me too. Why this rage? You're so unbending.
I'll tell you. I respect you, Jocasta. Much more than these men here. Creon's to blame. Creon schemes against me.
Tell me clearly, how did this quarrel start?
He says that I murdered Laius, that I am guilty.
How does he know? Some secret knowledge or simple hearsay?
Oh, he set this prophet to do his own work. You know Creon, he keeps his lips clean.
A prophet? Well, then free yourself of every charge. Listen to me and find some peace of mind. No skill in the world, nothing human can penetrate the future. Here is proof, quick and to the point. An oracle came to Laius one fine day. I won't say from Apollo himself, but his priests, his underlings. And it said that doom would fall upon him at the hands of a son, our son, to be born of our own flesh and blood. But, so the report goes at least, Laius was killed by strangers, thieves at a place where three roads meet. My son wasn't 3 days old, and the boy's father fastened his ankles and had a henchman fling him away on a barren, trackless mountain. There, you see? Apollo brought neither thing to pass. My baby no more murdered his father than Laius suffered his wildest fear, death at his own son's hands. That's how the seers and all their revelations mapped out the future. Brush it from your mind. Whatever the god needs and seeks, he'll bring to light himself with ease.
Strange. Hearing you just now, my mind wandered. Thoughts racing back and forth.
Why so anxious, startled?
I thought I heard you say that Laius was cut down at a place where three roads meet.
That is the story. It hasn't died out yet.
When? How long ago?
The heralds no sooner reported Leia's dead than you appeared.
Oh God, what have you planned to do to me?
What is it, Oedipus? What haunts you so?
Not yet. Laius, how did he look? Had he reached his prime?
He was swarthy, and the gray had just begun to streak his temples, and his build wasn't far from yours.
God. I fear that I called down a dreadful curse upon myself. I simply didn't know.
What is it? I shudder to look at you.
I have a terrible fear that the blind seer can see. I'll know in a moment. One thing more.
Anything. Afraid as I am, ask. I'll tell you all I can.
Did Laius leave with a light or heavy escort? Several men at arms like a lord or a king?
There were 5 in the party, a herald among them, and a single wagon carrying Laius.
Oh, I can see it all clear as day. Who told you this at the time, Jocasta?
A stranger who returned home, the lone survivor.
Could he still be in the palace, even now?
No, indeed. As soon as he returned, and saw you on the throne with Laius dead and gone, he knelt before me, clutched my hands, and pleaded to be sent to the hinterlands to pasture, far away from Thebes, out of sight. I let him go. Slave though he was, he earned that favor and much more.
Can we bring him back, quickly?
Yes, but why do you want him so?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid, Jocasta, that I've said too much already. That man, I've got to see him.
And he'll come. But even I have a right, I'd like to think, to know what's torturing you, my lord.
And so you shall. Who else would I turn to as I go through all of this? I've reached this pitch of dark foreboding. My father was Polybus, king of Corinth. My mother, a Dorian, Merope. And I was prince of the realm, until something struck me out of nowhere, something strange, worth remarking perhaps, hardly worth the anxiety I gave it. Some drunk man at a banquet shouted out that I am not my father's son. Fighting words! Oh, I could barely restrain myself that day. And early the next, I went to mother and father, questioned them closely, and they were enraged at the accusation and at the man who let it fly. So as for my parents, I was satisfied, but still, this thing kept gnawing at me. The slander spread. I had to make my move. And so, unknown to mother and father, I set up for Delphi. Lord Apollo rejected me. Sent me away, denied me the facts I came for. First he flashed before my eyes a future great with pain, terror, and disaster. I can still hear him cry. You are fated to couple with your mother. You will bring a breed of the children into this life no man can bear to see. You will kill your father, the one who gave you life. I heard that and I ran. I abandoned Corinth. From that day on, I gauged its landfall only by the stars, running, always running towards some place where I would never see the shame of all those oracles come true. And as I fled, Jocasta, I reached that very spot where you say Laius met his bloody death. I'll tell you it all, Jocasta. Making my way towards that triple crossroad, I began to see a herald and a brace of colts drawing a wagon, and mounted on a bench, a man, just as you've described him coming face to face. And the one in the front and the old man himself were about to thrust me off the road with brute force. Oh, I strike him in anger. Old man himself coming up along his wheels, he brings down his prod, 2 prongs straight at my head. I strike him at interest. Oh, short work by God. With one blow, I roll him out of the wagon, sprawling head first. I killed him. I killed them all. Every brother's son. Oh, but if there is a blood tie between Laius and this stranger, what man more miserable than I, more hated by the gods? I am the man no alien welcomes to his home. Law forbids it. Driven out of every hearth and home, I brought down these piling curses upon myself. You, his wife. I've touched you with these. The hands that killed your husband and cover you with blood. Oh, wasn't I born for torment? Oh, look at me in the eyes, abomination, heart and soul. I must be exiled. And even in exile, I'll never see my parents, else I am doomed to couple with my mother and cut my father down. But why? Why wouldn't a man of judgment say some savage power brought this down upon my head? Oh no, you pure and awesome gods, never let me see that day. Let me vanish from the world of men, vanish without a trace, before I see myself stained with such corruption, stained at the heart.
My king, you fill our hearts with fear, but until you question the witness, do take hope.
Precisely. There is hope. The Shepard. He is crucial.
And once he appears, what then? Why so urgent?
I'll tell you. If his story matches yours, I've escaped the worst.
What did I say? What struck you so?
You said thieves. You said a whole band of them attacked Laius. So if he holds the same number, I cannot be the killer. One cannot equal many. But if he refers to one man, one alone, clearly the scales come down on me. I am guilty.
Impossible. Trust me, I told you precisely what he said, and he can't retract it now. The whole city heard, not just I. And even if he were to vary his report by one man, more or less, still, my lord, he could never make the murder of Laius truly fit the prophecy. Apollo was explicit. My son was doomed to kill my husband. My son, poor, unfortunate thing, he never had the chance to. They destroyed him first. So much for prophecy. It's neither here nor there. From this day on, I wouldn't look right or left.
True. Still at Shepard. We need to fetch him now.
I'll send at once. But do, come inside. I'd never displease you, least of all in this.
There will be a 2-minute intermission.
Destiny guide me always.
Destiny find me filled with reverence, pure in word and deed. Great laws tower above us, reared on high, born for the gold vaults of heaven. Olympian sky their only father, nothing mortal, no man gave them birth. Their memory is deathless, never lost in sleep. Within them lives a mighty God. The God does not grow old.
Pride breeds the tyrant.
Violent pride, gorging, cramped, bursting with all that is overripe and rich with ruin.
Climb up to the heights, headlong pride crashes down the abyss, sheer doom.
No footing helps, all foothold lost and gone.
But the healthy strife that makes the city strong, I pray that God never ends that wrestling. God, my champion, I pray to you, but if any man comes striding in high and mighty in all he says and does,
No fear of justice, no reverence for the temples of the gods.
Let a rough doom tear him down. Pay his pride, ruin his pride.
If he cannot reap his profits fairly, cannot restrain himself from outrage, mad, laying hands on holy things untouchable.
can such a man so desperate still boast that he can save his life from the flashing bolts of God? If all such violence ends in victory now, why join the sacred dance?
Never again will I go reverent to Delphi, the pure heart of earth, or Olympus' ancient oracle at Abe, or Olivia of the fires.
Unless these prophecies all come true for all of mankind to look toward and wonder.
King of kings, if you deserve your titles, Zeus, remember, never forget.
You and your everlasting reign.
They are dying. The old oracle sent to Laius, Now our masters strike them off the rolls. Nowhere Apollo's golden glory now. The gods go down.
Lords of the realm, it occurred to me just now to come to the temple of the gods. So I have my branch in hand. Oedipus is beside himself, racked with anguish, no longer a man of sense. He's at the mercy of every passing voice if the voice tells of terror. I urge him gently, but nothing seems to help. So I turn to you, Apollo. You are nearest. I beg you, cleanse us. Set us free of defilement. Look at us, passengers in the grip of fear, watching the pilot of the vessel go to pieces.
Strangers, could any of you show me to the palace of the king? I think it's, Oedipus. Do you know where he is?
This is his palace, stranger, but he's inside. Here is his queen, wife, and mother of his children.
Noble queen, blessings on you, blessings on all your family, blessings on you always.
The same to you, stranger. You deserve it, such a greeting. But tell me, have you brought us news?
Wonderful news. For the house, your family too.
Really? What? Who sent you?
Corinth. I'll give you the message in a moment. You'll be glad of it. How could you help it? Though, it costs a little sorrow in the bargain.
What can it be with such a double edge?
The people there. They want to make your Oedipus king of Corinth.
Why? Isn't old Polybus still in charge?
No more. Death got him in the tomb.
What? Polybus dead? Dead?
If I'm not telling the truth, then strike me down too.
Quickly, go to your master and tell him this. You prophecies of the gods, where are you now? This is the man that Oedipus feared for years. He fled him not to kill him, and now he's dead. Quite by chance, a normal, natural death, not murdered by his father.
Tiresias, what now? Why call me from the palace?
Listen to him and see what all those awful prophecies of God have come to.
Who is he? What does he have for me?
He's from Corinth. He's come to tell you your father is no more. Polybus is dead.
Let me have it from your lips.
Well, if that's what you want first, then here it is. Polybus is dead and gone.
How? Murder? Sickness? What? What killed him?
A light tip of the scales can put old bones to rest.
Sickness, then. Or a man that wore him down.
That, and the long count of years he measured out.
So, Jocasta, why look to the prophet's hearth, the fires of our future? Why scan the birds that scream above our heads? They winged me on to the murder of my father, did they? That was my doom. Well, look, Polybus is dead and buried, hidden under the earth, and here I am in Thebes. I never put hand to sword. And now all those prophecies I feared, Polybus packs them off to sleep with him in hell. They're nothing, they're worthless.
There, didn't I tell you from the start?
So you did. I was lost in fear.
No more. Sweep it from your mind forever.
My mother's bed, surely I must fear.
Fear? What should a man fear? It's all chance. Chance rules our lives. Not a man on earth can see a day ahead groping through the dark. Better to live at random, best we can. And as for this marriage with your mother, have no fear. Many a man before you in his dreams has shared his mother's bed. Take such things for shadows, Oedipus. Live as if there's no tomorrow.
Brave words. And you'd persuade me, too, if Mother weren't alive, but Mother is alive. So for all your reassurances, I live in fear, I must.
But your father's death, that alone is a blessing. Joy to the eyes.
Great, I know, but I fear her. She is still alive.
Who is this woman? Makes you so afraid?
Merope, old man, the wife of Polybus.
The queen? What's there to fear in her?
A dreadful prophecy, stranger, sent by the gods.
Tell me, could you? Lest it's forbidden other ears to hear.
Not at all. Apollo told me once, it is my fate to couple with my mother and cut my father down. So for years I'd given Corinth a wide berth, and it's been my good fortune too. But still, to look one's parents in the eyes, it's the greatest joy I know.
You're afraid of that? That kept you out of Corinth?
My father, old man, so I wouldn't kill my father.
Well then, that's it. Well, since I came of such good fortune, your majesty, why don't I rid you of that old worry now?
What a rich reward you'd have for that.
Why do you think I came, my king? So you'd come home, and I'd be better off.
Never. I will never go near my parents.
My boy, it's clear you don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean? For God's sake, explain.
If you ran from them, always dodging home,
Always. Terrified Apollo's oracle might come true.
and you'd feel the guilt from both your parents.
That's right, old man. That fear is always with me.
Don't you see? You've really got nothing to fear.
What are you saying? If I am their son, Merope, Polybus?
Polybus was nothing to you, that's why. Not in blood.
Polybus was not my father?
No more than I am. He and I are equals.
Nothing. How can my father equal nothing? You are nothing to me.
So is he. He's no more your father than I am.
Why did he call me his son?
You were a gift. Many years ago. Know for a fact he took you from my hands.
Another person's hands? And how could he love me so? He loved me deeply.
True, and the long years without a child made him love you all the more.
And you, did you buy me? Find me on accident?
I stumbled upon you down the woody flanks of Mount Citharon.
So close. What were you doing there? Just passing through?
With my flocks, raising them on the slopes.
A herdsman were you? A vagabond scraping for wages.
Your savior, too, in your worst hour.
When you picked me up, was I in pain? What exactly?
Your ankles. Look at them. They tell the story.
Why remind me of that old affliction?
Your ankles were pinned together. I set you free.
A dreadful mark. I've had it since the cradle.
And you got your name by that misfortune, too. That name's still with you.
For God's sake, who did it? Mother, father, tell me.
I don't know. The man who found you, he'd know best.
What? You didn't find me yourself?
No, sir. Another shepherd passed you on to me.
Do you know him? Describe him.
If I remember rightly, he was a man of Lais.
The king of the land who ruled here long ago?
That's the one. That shepherd was his man.
Is he still alive? Can I see him?
The people of these parts, they know best.
Does anyone know the herdsman he just mentioned? Anyone seen him in the fields here in our city? Oh, out with it! The time has come to reveal us once and for all!
I believe he was the very shepherd you wanted to see a moment ago, but the queen, Jocasta, she's the one to say.
Jocasta? You know the man we just sent for? Is that the one he means?
That man. Old shepherd talk, empty nonsense. Don't give it another thought. Don't even think.
Give up now. With a clue like this, fail to solve the mystery of my birth? Not for all the world!
Stop. Stop. If you love your own life, call off this search. My suffering is enough.
Courage. Even if my mother turns out to be a slave, and I a slave 3 generations back, you would not seem common.
Oh no, please don't do this, I beg you.
Listen to you. No more. I must know the truth at last.
Oh, please. For your sake, I only want what's best for you.
Your best is more than I can bear! Move.
You're doomed! May you never fathom who you are.
Fetch me a herdsman now. Leave her to glory in her royal birth.
Man of agony! That is the only name I have for you. That no other ever. Ever. Ever!
Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Such wild dreams. Such wild dreams. I'm afraid that from the silence something monstrous may come bursting.
Oh, let it burst! Whatever will, whatever must, I must know my birth, no matter how common it may be. Ah! She, perhaps. She with her woman's pride may well be mortified by my birth, but I find myself the son of chance. The great goddess, giver of all good things. I will never see myself disgraced. She is my mother. That is my nature, my true blood. I will never betray it. Always search and learn my birth. I never met the man, my friends. Still, if I had to guess, I'd say that's the man. The one we've been searching for all along. Still, you know better than I. You've seen the man before.
I know him definitely. One of Laius's men. A trusty shepherd if there ever was one.
You, stranger from Corinth. Is this the one you mean?
That's him. He's your man.
You, old man. Come here. Look at me. Don't lie to me. Did you ever serve King Laius?
So I did. A slave, not bought on the block, but born and reared in the palace.
Your duties. Your kind of work.
Herding the flocks, better part of my life.
Where?
Cithron sometimes, or the foothills round about.
This man here, do you know him?
What man do you mean?
This man here, ever have dealings with him?
Not so I could say, but give me a chance. My memory's bad.
Your Majesty, no wonder he doesn't remember, but allow me to refresh his memory. Surely you remember the times you spent on the hills of Mount Cithron, grazing our flocks. He with 2 and I with 1, struck up together 3 whole seasons, 6 months at a stretch, from the spring to the rise of Arcturus in the fall. And the winter, I'd take my flocks back to my own pens, and he back to Laius's folds. Now, that's how it was, wasn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, I suppose. It's all so long ago.
Oh, come. You remember. You gave me a child back then, a boy, remember? To rear my very own.
Why rake that up again?
Here he is, my fine old friend. The same man who was just a boy back then.
Oh, damn you! Shut your mouth! Quiet!
Don't lash out on him, old man. You need lashings more than he does.
Why
Why, Master Majesty, what have I done wrong?
You won't answer his question about the boy.
But he's talking nonsense, wasting his breath.
So you won't talk willingly? Then you'll talk with pain.
Oh, dear God, you wouldn't torture an old man.
Twist his arm back, quickly!
No, no, please, what more do you need to know?
Did you give him that child?
I did. I wish to God I died that day.
You've got your wish if you don't tell the truth.
No, the more I tell, the worse the death I'll die.
Our friend here wants to stretch things out here, does he?
I gave it to him. I just said so.
Whose house? Yours? Someone else's?
It wasn't mine. No, I got it from someone.
Who? Whose house?
No, Master, please, no more questions.
You're a dead man if I have to ask again.
Then the child came from the house of Laius.
A slave? Or one of his own blood?
I'm right at the edge. The horrible truth. I've got to say it.
I'm at the edge of hearing horrors. Yes, but I must hear it!
Right! His son! They said it was his son. But the one inside your wife, she'd tell it best.
My wife? She gave it to you?
Yes, yes, my king.
Why? Why? What for?
To kill it.
Her own child? How could she?
She was afraid. Frightening prophecies.
What?
He said he'd kill his parents.
But you gave him to this old man. Why?
Pitied the baby, Master. Hoped he'd take him away to his own country, far away, but he saved him for this fate. If you are the man he says you are, believe me, you are born for pain.
God. Oh, light. I stand revealed at last. Cursed in my birth, cursed in my marriage, cursed at the lives I've cut down with these hands.
Generations of men, the dying generations.
And in the total fall of your lives, I find they come to nothing.
Does there exist? Is there a man on earth who seizes more joy than just a dream, a vision?
And the vision no sooner dawns than dies,
blazing into oblivion.
You are my great example. You, your life, your destiny, Oedipus, man of misery, I count no man blessed.
You outraged all men. Bending your bow to the breaking point, you captured priceless glory. Oh dear God, and the Sphinx came crashing down.
The Virgin, claws hooked, like a bird of omen, saying, shrieking death. Like a fortress reared in the face of death, you rose and saved our land.
From that day on, we called you king. We crowned you with honors, Oedipus, towering over us all. The mighty king of the 7 gates of Thebes.
But now, for all your power,
Time, all-seeing time, has dragged you into the light and judged your marriage monstrous from the start. The Son and the Father, tangling, both one. Oh, child of Laius, I would to God I'd never seen you. Never, never.
Now I weep like a man who wails the dead, and the dirge comes pouring forth. With all my heart, I tell you the truth. My breath leapt up in you, and now you bring night upon my eyes.
Men of Thebes, always first in honor. What horrors you will see, what you will hear, what a heavy weight of sorrow you will shoulder. If you are true to your birth, if you still have some feeling about the royal house of Thebes, I tell you, neither the waters of Danube nor the Nile can wash this palace clean. Such things it hides, it will soon bring to light terrible things. None done blindly now, all done with a will. The pains we inflict upon ourselves hurt most of all.
God knows we have pains enough already. What more can you add to them?
Jocasta is dead.
Poor lady. How?
By her own hand. But you are spared the worst. You never had to watch. I saw it all. And with all the memory that's in me, you will soon learn what that poor woman suffered. Once she burst through the palace gates, dashing past us, frantic, whipped to fury, ripping her hair out with her own hands straight to the room she rushed, flinging herself across the bridal bed, door slamming behind her. Once aside, she wailed for Laius, dead so long, remembering how she bore his child long ago, the life that rose up to destroy him, leaving its own mother to mother living creatures with their own son she'd born. Oh, how she wept, mourning the marriage bed, where she led off those double-brood monsters, husband by her husband, children by her child. But then how she died is more than I can say. Suddenly, Oedipus burst in screaming. We couldn't watch her agony till the end. Her eyes were fixed on him, circling like a maddened beast, stalking here, there. Someone give him a sword. His wife, no wife, his mother. And there, we saw the woman hanging by her neck, cradled in a high woven noose, swinging back and forth, spinning. And when he saw her, letting off a low renting sob that broke our hearts, he eased her down in a slow embrace and laid her down. Poor thing. But then what happened next? The horror we beheld. He rips off the brooches, the long gold pins holding her robes, and raising them high, looking straight into the points. He digs them down to the sockets of his eyes, screaming, "You will no longer see the pain I suffered, all the pain I caused. Too long you have looked on the ones you should have never seen, blind to the ones you long to see, to know. Blind in the darkness, blind from this hour on, blind!" His voice like a dirge, rising over and over, raising the pins, raking them down his eyes. Blood splurted everywhere, splashing his beard, a swirl on it, nerves and clots, black hail of blood, pulsing, gushing down. Those are the griefs that burst upon them both, coupling man and woman, the joy they had so lately, the fortune of their old ancestral house, was deep joy indeed. Now, in this one day, wailing, madness and doom, death, disgrace, all the griefs in the world you can name are all theirs forever. Look, he'll show himself. The great doors are opening. You are about to see a sight even his mortal enemy would pity.
Oh, the terror! The suffering for all the world to see.
The worst terror that has ever met my eyes. What God, what dark power that beyond all belief to curse your wretched life.
God forsaken, cursed by the gods. I pity you, but I can't bear to look. So much fascinates my eyes. I have so much to learn, but you. I shudder at the sight.
Oh, agony. Oh, the agony. Where am I going? Where on earth? Where does all this agony hurl me? Where's my voice? Swinging, swept away in a dark tide. My destiny, my dark power, what a leap you've made!
To the depths of terror, too dark to hear, to see!
Dark. Horror of darkness, my darkness. Drowning, swirling around me, crashing wave on wave. Unspeakable, irresistible headwind, fatal harbor. The misery over and over, all at once, again and again. Stabbing dagger, stab of memory, raking me insane.
No wonder you suffer.
Twice over. The pain of your wounds.
The lasting grief of pain.
Dear friends, still here. Still standing by me. The blind man. Still with such compassion. I know it's you. Blind as I am, I know it's your voice. It's yours, clearly yours.
Dreadful what you've done.
How could you bear it, gouging out your eyes?
What superhuman power drove you on?
Apollo. Friends Apollo. He ordained my agonies. My pains on pains. But the hands that stabbed my own eyes was mine and mine alone. I did it all myself. What good were eyes to me? Nothing I could ever see could bring me joy. Now loathed by the gods. Son of the mother I defiled. Coupling in her father's bed. Spawning lies in the loins that spawn my own wretched life. Oh. What grief can crown this grief? It's mine. It's mine alone. It's my destiny. I am Oedipus.
How can I say you've chosen for the best? Better to die than be alive and blind.
Don't lecture me. No more advice. I with my eyes. How could I look my father in his eyes when I go down to death? My mother, so abused. I've done such things to the two of them. Crimes too huge for hanging. No more. It's wrong to name what's wrong to do. For God's sake, hide me somewhere. Kill me! Hurl me into the sea where I can no longer see a human face. Closer. Don't be afraid. Touch the man of grief. The troubles are mine, and I'm the only man alive who can sustain them. Please.
Put your request to Creon. Here he is when we need him. He'll have a plan. He'll act out that he's the sole defense of the country in your place.
What can I say to him? I've wronged him just now in every way. You must know that I was wrong. I was so wrong.
I haven't come to mock you, Oedipus, or to criticize your former failings.
Please, in God's name, you wipe my fears away. Coming so generously to me, the worst of men. Do one thing more, for your sake, not mine.
What do you want? Why so insistent?
Drive me out of Thebes, far from sight, where I can no longer hear a human voice.
I'd have done that already, I promise you. First, I wanted the god to clarify my duties.
Clearly the gods' actions were clear. The father killer, the curse, he said, destroy me.
So he did. Still, in such a crisis, it's better to ask precisely what to do.
So miserable. You'd consult a god about a man like me?
By all means. And this time I assume even you will obey the god's decrees.
I will. And you, I command you, no, I beg you. The woman inside, bury her as you see fit. It's the only decent thing. To give our own the last rites. As for me, let me live out my life on the mountains, on Citharon, my favorite haunt. I've made it famous. Mother and father marked out that rock to be my everlasting tomb, buried alive. Let me die there, where they tried to kill me. As for my children, oh Creon, the boys at least, don't burden yourself. They're men. They'll find the means to live. But my two daughters, oh my two precious girls, clustering on our table, never without me hovering near them. Everything I've touched, they've had their fair share. Oh, Creon, take care of them for me. I beg you. Please. My king. Wait. Better, permit me, would you, to touch them with these hands so that we can share our fill of tears. If I could hold them just once, it would feel like the early days when I could still see their eyes. Oh God, do I really hear you sobbing? My 2 children. Creon, you've pitied me. Same with my 2 daughters, am I right?
Yes, it's my doing. I know the joy they gave you all these years. The joy you must feel now.
Bless you, Creon. May God help you for this kindness, much more than he ever guarded me. Children, where are you? Come to these hands of mine. Creon, bless you. Creon, you're the only father that they have now. The ones who brought them into this world are both gone. Gone at a stroke. Don't let them go begging. Women without men. Abandoned. Pity them. Don't let them go down to the level of my pains. You are their last hope. Please, my noble Creon, touch my head. Oh, you little girls. If only you were old enough to understand.
Enough. You've wept enough. Into the palace now.
I know. But I find it very hard.
Time is the great healer, you will see.
I'm going. You know on what condition?
Tell me. I'm listening.
Drive me out of Thebes, in exile.
Not hard. Only the gods can give you that.
Surely the gods hate me so much.
You'll get your wish at once.
You consent?
I try to say what I mean. It's my habit.
You take me away. It is time.
Come along. Let go of the children.
No. No, don't take them away from me. No, 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 not now. No, not now, no, no, no.
Still the king, the master of all things. No more. Here your power ends. None of your power follows you through life.
People of Thebes, my countrymen, look on Oedipus. He solved the famous riddle with his brilliance. He rose to power, a man beyond all power. Who could behold his greatness without envy? Now, what a black sea of terror has overwhelmed him. Now, as we keep our watch and wait the final day, count no man happy till he dies, free of pain at last.
Yo,